Hi, this is Mike Haber. Thanks for asking me, is it better to have a bench or a jury trial? First off, you have to have a choice in the matter. There are some cases where you're not entitled to a jury trial. For example, if you're a juvenile who's been charged with an act of delinquency, or if you're an adult who's facing a probation violation, then you don't get a jury. But assuming that you do have a choice in the matter, then the answer is going to depend. It's going to depend upon the unique facts and circumstances of your case. Why? Because every case, every defendant, and every judge is different. In some cases, for example, less serious misdemeanor matters, there's an unwritten incentive to go bench. Many times, if you come back guilty on a bench trial, you can expect a more lenient sentence. Again, this is not a rule, it's just a generally reliable statement in some cases. The reason is that when you come back guilty after a bench trial in, say, a solicitation of prostitution or a petty theft or even a DUI case, your trial will have taken an hour of the court's time, whereas if you went jury, the case would have taken a day or maybe even two, and not just of the court's time, but also of the dozens of folks who sat through the jury selection process, the 6, 7, or 8 who sat through the whole trial, deliberated, and ultimately found you guilty. And then you have to factor in the fact that all of the resources used on your guilty verdict could have been spent on another case being tried instead of yours. Now, I know what you're thinking, and I'm not saying that this is right, but it is an unfortunate fact that at the end of some cases, you will effectively get punished for exercising your Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. The bottom line is that every case, every defendant, and every judge are unique, and you have to make decisions about your case with the help of your criminal defense lawyer. I thank you for your question. I appreciate your having asked it, and I invite you to ask me more. Please remember at Haber, PA, it's all about reasonable doubt. And if you like this video, please subscribe. We'll be putting out more soon. Hi, this is Mike Haber. Thanks for asking me, how can I change my case from a jury trial to a bench trial or vice versa? In some ways, criminal cases are like civil cases. Both have a plaintiff, sometimes called a petitioner in civil court, and both have a defendant, sometimes called a respondent in civil court. But in criminal cases, the plaintiff is the people of the state, by and through the office of the state attorney, and the defendant is you, the accused. The Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution grants every defendant, everyone that is accused of committing a crime, the right to have their case decided by a jury of their peers. And in Florida, this right has been extended to the government as well as to the defendant. In other words, even if you, the defendant, do not demand a jury trial, the state can. Still, it's usually the defendant who demands jury, and once you do that, then you can't take it back. Not unilaterally, anyhow. If you decide you'd prefer to go bench after you've demanded jury, then you're going to have to get the state to agree, and they're going to have to waive jury. And if they don't agree, then you're going to get a jury real quick. Where you decide that you want to go bench, but the state disagrees, sometimes you can enlist the court's help in persuading the state to see things your way. There's some plain economic arguments to be made, like the fact that jury trials take significantly more time, and they take significantly more resources from the system. Bench trials are always faster, but they have their drawbacks too. The most obvious of which is that it's a lot easier to convince one or more jurors than it is to sweet-talk a savvy judge. At Haber, PA, we always ask for a bench trial up front. Why? Because the Constitution says that we can always ask for a jury trial later. And by demanding a judge up front, we keep our options open. Thank you for your question. I appreciate your having asked it, and I invite you to ask more. Please remember at Haber, PA, it's all about reasonable doubt. And if you like this video, please subscribe. We'll be putting out more soon.
I'm that gratitude guy with the Monday Morning Minute. only one malpractice lawsuit. I was talking to my doctor the other day when I asked him what was the best thing about his medical practice after all of these years. I was a bit surprised to hear his answer. I only had one malpractice lawsuit in all these years. Now, my doctor's a great guy, great mentor, and quite frankly, a great doctor. A throwback to the kind of doctor that sits down and listens to you without making you feel like you're just another patient on a human assembly line. What struck me as interesting is that he looked at the fact that he had only one malpractice suit as the thing that he was most grateful for. Upon further thought, I realized that there are so many ways to look at any situation, and he was merely pointing out a huge positive for him. So regardless of what the reason is, try to always look at the things that you are most grateful for. As I've said many times, it's amazing how by doing just that, you will slowly shift your mindset to one of abundance and gratitude. It is just flat a better way to think. I'm just saying. I'm that gratitude guy. Remember, be grateful and never quit.
My name is Brandon Nabro. I'm a litigation attorney here at Drew Amber Law Firm. I was born and raised in Troy, Michigan. Went to undergrad in downtown Detroit at Wayne State University. I went to Cooley Law School in Lansing, Michigan. I first decided I wanted to be a lawyer when I was in high school. I took a couple of classes in debate and moot court and mock trial. That's when I decided to pursue law. I primarily specialize in personal injury. We handle everything from auto accidents to dog bite cases to premises liability type cases. I handle also some civil rights as well. Many people who are injured don't know if they have a case, so it doesn't hurt to pick up the phone and call our office. What's different about Drew Amber is that we're really client focused. We treat all of our clients like family here. The team approach we have here is different from other firms that I've worked at. It's not just one person handling your case, you're getting a whole team, a whole firm handling your case, whether it be the receptionist, to our assistants, to all the attorneys. Everyone here knows our clients and knows what they're going through. I like working with the clients, especially on the litigation side. You work with them closely, you see their struggles. This is a very difficult legal process, and to help them through all this and being a bright light for them is very rewarding.
Online health information is a very sensitive area of public information. There are websites like WebMD that help people gain an understanding of different symptoms that could occur and offer a cost-efficient way to analyze one's own health. Although this is a great advancement in technology and medical services, it brings up a lot of liability issues. The reason that doctors have to go to school for so long is that they must master their field of health because it is their responsibility to give the best possible health care. Through all their education, they gain an intuition for diagnosis as well as how to treat patients. This is something that cannot be used when a regular person looks up information online. This, then, leads to a lot of room for misinterpretation and can cause serious injury in some people who choose to take this information and attempt self-treatment as opposed to going to see a proper medical practitioner. Privacy and security are also extremely important when it comes to online health information. Online health information does not really come to mind when people think about information breaches or hacking, but it is one of the highest things sought out for by data researchers. This is because there is a lot of value from your online health information. Companies use your data to sell to other companies or institutions for different purposes. One of the main purposes is to better healthcare, which would be so that your information could be used to make predictions and assumptions when testing pharmaceutical drugs. Another purpose for this information is so that companies can target you for certain clinical test trials. For example, if a company is looking for elderly people who suffer from diabetes, the disbursement of health information could allow a company to look through a database of different patient healthcare and target certain patients to be brought in for clinical testing trials. What does this mean? This means that corporations have effectively taken away your privacy. Not to mention, this privacy breach involves one of the most personal things about a person, their health information. I understand that there is something to be said about information creating better drugs and treatment. However, according to Dr. Peel, an Austin-based doctor and patient privacy advocate who is affiliated with the University of Texas, treatment and drugs have not gotten better as a result of other firms using our health information. So this begs the question, why are we giving up our privacy?